Chester, northwest England. In 1981, again the place where the Lombard RAC Rally culminated, one of the great events in the World Championship Series. Streets 1700 years old were bulging with the latest in automotive engineering. All the garages, large and small, seemed to be busy with preparations for one of the world's greatest car rallies. The brightest stars in the rallying firmament were there in force.
And away he goes. Car number one, last year's winner.
For the first time ever, the world elite included a white car from Czechoslovakia, a Skoda 120 LS, with John Haughland of Norway and co-driver Jan Olof Bolin from Sweden. The Skoda was entered in Group 1. It was thus a fully standard car, one you can get from your nearest dealer anytime. An 1174cc engine, only with a spare coil. The interior with standard seats and dashboard, and the co-driver's rally equipment. 4-point seat belts. A large fire extinguisher. And a safety frame.
Skoda, the Skoda 120. Entered by Skoda Great Britain, John Haughland. From Norway, the famous Skoda driver. The car, the Skoda 120 LS. Entered by Skoda Great Britain. Supporters of this event for many years.
All was still peaceful and quiet before the start. Vatanen, Mikola and Allen were not rivals yet.
David Richards, Ford Escort, first of the Rothmans rally team.
With the start, the relaxed atmosphere was gone. It was flat out from the word go. Haughland and his Skoda were in fine fettle from the very first speed tests. He seemed hardly to be driving a standard production car.
He's a Dutchman, despite his reasonably English-sounding name. It's one of the... So the car coming.
Toivonen was forced to withdraw his Sunbeam Lotus soon. But Mikola's Audi Quattro was going like greased lightning. One of the locals, Tony Pond in a Vauxhall Chevette, took a surprising early lead. This was an old story. In previous Lombard rallies, Pond was in the lead but never finished. Would he be luckier this time? Former world champion Björn Valdegard seemed to botch up everything he laid his hands on, and withdrew his Toyota soon. Audi number 2, Michel Mouton of France, lying in the 4th place. Interest in the rally was huge. The most exciting speed test sections were lined by hundreds of thousands of motoring fans, mostly in castle parks and other private grounds. There was drama aplenty. True to tradition, Pond soon lost his lead due to engine trouble.
out the factory.
His place was taken by Mikola and his Audi. A brilliant triumph for the Quattros. Michel Mouton was now second. Ari Vatanen, a candidate for the crown of world champion, admitted that his Finnish compatriot Mikola was hard to beat. Vatanen was doing his best to subdue his temperament and win the title. And what about the Skoda? The most optimistic forecast for the first half was between 70th and 80th in the overall placings. Actually, she did 40 places better, leading in her class and outpacing all her rivals in the next category. Pressing hard on the heels of specially adapted cars, 8th overall among standard cars of all sizes. A fine show for a 1200cc car. At long last, a breather. Day and night, the drivers, co-drivers and cars had to cope with the rigors of the route. A wash is the least people can give the exhausted machines. With Skoda, the atmosphere was relaxed, which was more than could be said about some of the other teams. The mechanics carried out routine checks, and the Scandinavian crew had time for refreshments. Only the sturdiest and best prepared machines can cope with the grueling load of a rally like this.
It has been working very well. It has been very smooth and very good roads up to now. But the car has been working very well. It's not very fast, but it's going okay. No problems at all.
The original lineup of 200 had by now been reduced by more than a half. The Skoda, though, was forging ahead safe and sound. Just a routine check and a fill. A morning on the border. The quiet country in anticipation of the roar of the engines. An autumn morning, a morning charged with expectation. All those that were still pushing on met outside the hotel at Washington, North England. Very few of them unscathed. Even Hannu Mikola, an ace if there ever was one, had had a rollover in the fog. Haughland brought his Skoda still unscathed. Less than 100 of the very best were still in the running.
And the first night is over. How was it?
It was okay. It was fairly rough and plenty of water and very much rain and much soft ground, and we had no problems at all.
Thank you. And have you some notice in this rally?
Not what I can remember just now. Nothing special. I made a little mistake, but such a things happen.
Thank you and good luck.
Thank you.
Okay. We shall go to reception and meet the other ones.
Yeah.
And see if we can make little sleep.
John Haughland, as optimistic as ever, all smiles. The trio of Skoda, Haughland and Bollin had a place among the very best. A proper English downpour made the going doubly difficult. Andy Dawson drowned his car in a flooded Ford. The contest was going on. Leading the field were the two Audi Quattros. Vatanen with the title of world champion within easy reach. Ragnotti's Renault Turbo could not cope with the rigours of the route. He came in 10th. 90% of the route was on rough roads without tarmac. Here it was the car's handling that counted. In Group A1, the Skoda's rivals included Ford Escorts, Hondas, Ladas, Volvos and other outstanding rally cars. With the exception of a handful of the most powerful ones, Haughland beat them all.
The RAC Rally. Not quite so spectacular.
One of the few sunny days of a British autumn. Mikola in the lead for the second half of the rally. Dave Richards' career ended in the hot seat next to the wild Finn Vatanen. Little did Michelle Mouton know here that she would soon crash and have to throw in the sponge. Stig Blomqvist, the only Talbot man still in the running. Many of the cars and riders were plagued with troubles. The cars were knocked and scarred, many refusing to start. Even the veteran of British drivers, Roger Clark and his Ford Escort, were hit by bad luck. Haughland was starting with the poise that only certainty can give. He, his car and his co-driver had done their best. Now all they needed was to hold on to their position.
Skoda 120 LS. A car from Czechoslovakia, you'll note from the registration number, factory car.
The last part of the route took the men and their cars to Wales. Wind, sea, sharp climbs and descents. Vatanen became the 1981 world champion. But the 1981 Lombard RAC Rally was won by Hanno Mikkola for the first time in an Audi Quattro. Only the very best completed the rally, 54 crews out of 200. Those that had stamina, sturdiness and proper preparation into the bargain. Finishing this rally means a lot. The Skoda piloted by Haughland and Bollin did more. It beat cars such as Ford Escorts, Opels, Renault Turbos, Ladas, Hondas and Toyotas.
Now we are come to the finish, and we have had a good rally. We have had very little problems. We have changed one exhaust pipe and we had one puncture tire. That's all. Otherwise we have been driving along all the time, and car has been going very, very well. It's not been so very fast, but they've been very consistent and been giving absolutely no trouble at all.
Thank you.
No car from the next strongest category managed to beat the trio Skoda, Haughland, Bollin. A world premiere and a brilliant success.